A mutual friend, Liam, was the quiet kind of person who didn't make a grand entrance. He wasn't flashy, no expensive car, no designer suit, no smooth lines that made heads turn. But he had this rare presence, the kind that held doors open without needing thanks, remembered the tiniest details from passing conversations, and truly listened, not just to respond but to understand. The night before our first date, he sent me a message. Asterisk, looking forward to tomorrow. Let me know if anything changes. Asterisk, it was gentle. No pressure. I remember rolling my eyes a little, thinking it felt too soft, too mild. Maybe even a little boring. I tossed my phone aside and nearly didn't go. But something pulled me there. He chose a warm little Italian place. Nothing extravagant, just cozy lighting, the smell of fresh bread, soft music humming in the background. I wore heels that hurt by the time I arrived. I expected decent pasta and maybe a bland conversation, but Liam surprised me. He didn't try to impress. Instead, he asked questions that mattered. Listened like my words had weight. He noticed I was cold and, without making a show of it, asked the staff to adjust the fan. There were no games, no performative charm. Just calm, quiet care. It felt like sliding into something warm after a long, exhausting day. Still, I wasn't convinced. He was thoughtful, grounded, consistent. But he didn't ignite that wild spark I had always chased. He didn't have that chaotic pull, the kind that left me breathless one moment and broken the next. I told myself he wasn't my type. He didn't feel dangerous. And part of me thought love was supposed to feel like danger. But we kept meeting. Once. Then again. Then again. I started looking forward to his texts, the ones where he'd send a song he thought I'd like, or ask if I'd had my coffee with extra cream and no sugar, just the way I liked it. I caught myself smiling when I saw his name on my phone. But even then, I kept my distance, holding him at arm's length. Some part of me still believed that someone so stable, so sincere, couldn't possibly be what I needed. One night, he picked a rooftop restaurant with a skyline view so beautiful it almost looked unreal. The city lights shimmered beneath us, music drifted in the breeze, and there he was, simple shirt, jeans, his usual unshakable calm. He pulled out my chair, smiled, told me I looked stunning. And then I ruined it. I laughed awkwardly, nervously, and said the one thing I should have swallowed. Asterisk, you're not really my usual type. Asterisk, I tried to soften it with a quick, but you're amazing, like that made it better. I watched something shift in his face. Not anger. Not pain. Just a quiet dimming. Like a light slowly fading out. He nodded gently and said, Asterisk, I get it. Asterisk. Then he signaled for the check. Paid. Didn't touch his drink. He didn't argue. Didn't lash out. Just stood up, offered a faint, unreadable smile, and walked away, leaving behind the sound of glass clinking, a half-full drink, and me. I sat there, stunned. Embarrassed. Telling myself he was being too sensitive. That I was just being honest. But when I got home and opened my phone, he was gone. No messages. No social media. It was as if I'd never existed. Maybe I hadn't meant much to him. Or maybe I'd meant too much. I told myself I'd move on. Find someone more my type. Someone intense, electric, reckless. The kind of love that scorches. But I didn't. Instead, I kept replaying that night. His expression. The stillness in his eyes. The weight of what I'd said. It hit me slowly. And then all at once. I didn't push him away because he wasn't enough. I pushed him away because I didn't believe I deserved someone who was. I was so used to chasing emotional chaos, confusing unpredictability for passion, that when someone offered me something real, safe, present, consistent, I flinched. I mistook his calm for dullness because I didn't know what peace felt like. I had been loved badly so many times, I didn't know how to accept being loved well. And Liam was the kind of man who showed up fully, who remembered, who cared, who never made me question his presence. But I told him he wasn't my type, when what I really meant was, you terrify me because you're kind, and I've only ever known love laced with pain. Weeks passed. One afternoon, I saw him again, on the other side of the street, walking with someone new. She was radiant, smiling up at him, and he looked different. Lighter. Happier. At peace. I froze, phone in hand, pretending to scroll. My stomach twisted. He didn't look my way. Or maybe he did, and simply chose not to see me. And in that moment, something shattered. Not because he was with someone else, but because I realized she was now receiving the tenderness I had once been offered and rejected. I told myself I'd message him, explain, say I was sorry. But what could I say? I had spoken my truth. And he believed me. He believed I didn't want him. That's the cruel thing about words. We say them so carelessly and they take root. I didn't just lose him. I showed him he deserved better. And he believed me. Now he's gone. And somewhere out there, a woman gets to see the version of him that I never let grow, because I was too afraid, too damaged, too lost in my idea of what love should feel like. And the hardest part isn't that he walked away. It's that he walked away quietly, because he finally knew his worth. And I finally realized mine too late.